The tornado warning is until 5:15 for Pike County for the storm moving northeast at about 30 miles an hour. It was issued about 10 minutes ago. One of many tornado warnings we've had now in the past 24 hours. All Doppler indicated. We don't have any reports of any tornado touchdowns. You can sure pick out the front. It's 61 degrees at Lima. It's 85 at Athens. And storms love fronts, and that boundary is right along I-71. So in your pinpoint forecast, there's the culprit. This is causing the spin right now across sections of Pike County. That's where we had the tornado warning earlier. That is just a thunderstorm warning at this hour. But as long as that spin works its way north at 7 o'clock, just past Columbus, until about 9 o'clock, a few more storms could begin to rotate. After that, the front is going to essentially lay out right along I-71. And then late tonight, the next round will come into some heavy rain. We'll have to keep an eye on ponding and also some flooding early in the morning. But notice tomorrow afternoon, everything moves off to the east. That will be the last system associated with this front. Consider it the caboose on the train. And then by Friday, we're in the clear, and it will turn unseasonably cool. Temperatures tonight going down into the low 60s, but the main concern will be the next several hours for severe weather and damaging winds, and late tonight heavy rain. And then showers and storms will diminish midday on Thursday. Friday 61, a few lingering showers, and very cool weather as we head into the next several days heading into the weekend. Now, you've been sharing your weather pictures and video with us. Today, this is from Ken in Chillicothe, where a hailstorm took down leaves and branches. Look at that, Colleen, Cabot, and Jim. Hail 1¼ inches in diameter. That's a half-dollar size hail, and that's where you had that huge purple core at the time the tornado warning was issued just to the south and west. And we've also received pictures from hail in Newark and in Knox County. You can share your pictures and video with us. Just send them to share@nbc4i.com.
That is damaging hail.
Scary stuff. I would think the tornado would be hiding right in here because there's an indication of a debris ball right there. So this is the most dangerous part of this particular storm. Now, these storms cycle. They may rotate for a while and then lose some of their potency, but nonetheless, a storm, one of the two storms that we've been tracking for the past hour, this one developed to the south of Clinton and Highland counties, is now moving up into southeastern Clark, southwestern Madison County. So that's storm number one. That is just south of the I-71 corridor. And he is driving south on US 23 toward the eastern storm, which is the one in eastern Ross County, and that would be this storm here. So Mike was in Circleville. He's going in this direction. This is the safer part of the storm right now, at least for viewing. This is the part of the storm that's rotating right here. And Jim is putting some times up. This storm continues to lift off to the northeast. It would probably narrowly, at least the rotating portion of the storm, narrowly miss Franklin County, but would be a greater threat for Lancaster County, down by Amanda, Sugar Grove, which is over here. But this is the portion of the storm that's rotating. So we're pinpointing that cell, which is moving off to the northeast at 35. Tornado warnings now for Ross and Pickaway. And, of course, the storm moving into southwestern Madison County on the other side. I've put together for you a video countdown that looks back at the top 4 snowiest and coldest winters in central Ohio. The coldest day in the entire state of Ohio, February 10, 1899, brought an official low temperature of 39 below zero in Perry County, a perfect spot for cold air to collect. Columbus reached 20 below that morning. In our top 4 coldest winters, half occurred around the turn of the 20th century. In 1903-04, there were deep blocks of ice in the frozen Ohio River, which could only be navigated on foot and by horse and buggy. The winters of the first 2 decades of the century were frequently bitterly cold, with readings often dropping below -20 in rural areas. Our third coldest winter was during World War I. Heat was in short supply, leading to workless Mondays to save on gas and coal. Extended cold waves in every month created severe hardships, with lows reaching -30, followed by a great mid-January blizzard. The second coldest winter was famous for another blizzard, January 1978. The winter of 1977-78 was consistently cold and snowy from start to finish, but the coldest winter of them all, 1976-77, 7 weeks of sub-freezing weather without a break. When it comes to snowiest winters, number 4, the blizzard winter of 1977-78, had 64 straight days of snow cover. Although the blizzard on January 25th, 26th only deposited a half foot of snow in Columbus, winds gusted to nearly 70 miles an hour, whipping new and old snow into 10 to 20-foot drifts. We ended up with 54.1 inches of snow. Our third snowiest winter was in 1995-96, which also had a January blizzard, 54.1 inches of snow for the entire winter. Last winter, the second snowiest winter on record, brought a rare white Thanksgiving very early, and it kept on coming. 17 snowfalls deep enough to require shoveling, most of those plowable. 6 inches in early December, 8 inches in late January, then up to 10 inches the first week of February. The right combination of strong winds and a brief thaw followed by a flash freeze in January contributed to a once-in-a-lifetime sighting of snow rollers, but the number one snowiest winter in the Columbus area came more than a century ago, beginning with a Christmas Day snowstorm in 1909, followed by big storms in January and February for a total of 67.8 inches.
Snap.
So the one thing that I noticed over the last 4 years playing in the Horseshoe Bend is that the wind mainly affects the kicking game.
Last fall, we talked to Ohio State kicker Drew Basil about his experiences dealing with swirling winds that seemed to get a boost channeled through the opening in the south stands.
In talking to Drew about how the winds changed when he was kicking, it doesn't surprise me, because any time that you start constricting the wind, making the area where it flows smaller, you get a much higher velocity. And so as those winds come through and they neck down, I would imagine that he gets a much bigger swirling effect.
But that's all changed this year with the enclosure of the south stands, adding 2,600 seats.
We're blocking the wind more, but it may create more swirly, gyry wind inside the stadium.
I asked Jim DeGrand's geography class to do a microclimate wind study on a brisk autumn day. Talk about the ultimate field trip.
We're measuring wind speed and direction every 2 seconds. We'll do that for 10 minutes. We've got 7 stations on the field, 1 up in the stands. Are we good? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The students took careful wind measurements and then extrapolated the data onto a computer program in our Storm Team 4 Weather Center.
So our 3D anemometer showed us that down on the field, there were strong sinking winds on the west side of the field. Over on the east side of the field, light rising winds. You have a wind flowing over a large obstacle with another obstacle downwind from it. So it's going to generate a vertical eddy.
The unexpected results were that although extending the south stands reduced the wind tunnel effect through the stadium, air flowing over the top of the horseshoe was actually creating even more swirl.
And so as we walk out of the tunnel from under the south stands, you can really feel the wind behind us.
Last year, Drew Basil demonstrated how challenging the wind currents can be in the horseshoe. He feels that the new structural additions have reduced the crosswinds.
As the wind comes up and over, depending upon the direction of it, you'd get a swirling effect within the stadium, and so the flags might not even help you very much.
But to be sure, he recruited a veteran kicking specialist who sometimes is called upon when the game forecast is on the line.
Ben, which way is it going?
More to the left.
Okay, so which way should you aim?
A little bit to the right.
All right, let's see it. It's good! Ben, you have the record for the shortest field goal in Ohio Stadium history.
Ben is in. He's got to look at our forecast. It seems like Central Ohio this time dodged the bullet.
For the first time in 5 Wednesdays.
Boy, they skipped all around us, though, didn't they?
We've had tornadoes and damaging winds in western Pennsylvania, strong storms in Indiana, and even some strong storms in eastern Ohio. But I was probably the only person excited this morning about the cloud cover, because I knew when I got up that thick overcast would really tamp things down.
Yeah, it did. Really put a lid on it.
Cooler, and that's the physics or the energy for big storms. So that helped us out big time today. All right, let's show you what you can expect heading out overnight tonight through your daybreak. Tomorrow morning, we'll wake up to 66 degrees, so we're not going to drop much overnight. Showers in Indiana will be dying out as they move into central Ohio at dawn. And then at noontime, just mostly cloudy and murky, 76, but there will be pop-up storms again in the afternoon, with temperatures very much like today in the upper 70s, but not really warm enough to boil up any big storms. They're off to the east and off to the west, although the storms along the cold front, oddly, are not as strong as the storms along the warm front, where we had some wind shear and turning of the winds in Pennsylvania and a couple of tornadoes. Rain has now moved north of Bucyrus, so that's heading up toward Massillon. And take a look at a couple of showers now just to the west of Columbus. Very, very light, so it's part of an overall southwest to northeast flow. Usually stronger storms go west to east, but a very moist, a very muggy air mass. So we got between the warm front and the cold front, and we had just widely scattered garden variety showers and storms. Spin of low pressure up over Michigan, and that's where the greater risk of a tornado also was. So In between is actually a good place to be when the atmosphere is kind of volatile. Rain totals, though, over the next 24 hours will still be substantial, but mainly off to the east. Greater instability again tomorrow from Athens to Zanesville, a half to 3/4 of an inch. In most areas, though, just getting a 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rain, pretty much what we saw today. Here's your pinpoint forecast, and you can see at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, maybe a shower on the front, but not expecting much in the way of rain during the morning hours. Now, as we get into the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies, but then some breaks in the overcast. Model not gung-ho on showers tomorrow, but I think there will be a few pop-ups around. A little better chance when the cold front comes through pre-dawn on Friday. But now watch what happens Friday from 7 a.m. through midday Friday afternoon. Skies clear. This is drier air, much less humid air, just in time for Father's Day weekend. Cool Canadian high rides right over central Ohio. And as we head into Sunday, the weather is going to be excellent. But we don't want to let our guard down. It's still peak tornado season. Now, notice in May, we've had 38 tornadoes tracking back since 1996. Look at June and July. Those are our top months. So we still have to pay close attention to severe weather potential. Fortunately, that potential not realized today. It's 73 outside now. We hit a high of 82, low this morning of 66, a light south wind, rising barometer, and temperatures in the low 70s here in central Ohio, some upper 60s, 68 at Marysville, 69 at Lancaster, 67 at Chillicothe. When you wake up tomorrow morning, we'll be down in the mid 60s and right back up into the upper 70s tomorrow afternoon. It's another warm and sticky day. The good news, the rain is finally taking the grass and tree pollen out of the air after one of the worst pollen seasons and allergy seasons we've ever had. And there's the other good news. The jet stream is going to take the plunge over the weekend. That's going to give us a really nice Father's Day weekend. 66 degrees, showers ending overnight, warm and sticky, and then maybe a pop-up tomorrow, 78. But most of the day actually will be dry like today, just kind of murky out there. And then after showers and storms end early Friday, look at the weekend, lows in the 50s, highs in the 70s on Saturday. And then we'll get back to summer-like weather on Sunday.